Good evening everybody and welcome back to TTL F1. You are watching TTTV here on a Thursday night at around about 8 PM, which can only mean one thing. It is time for the next round of TTL F1, and the next round takes us to the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit here in Belgium. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box making his TTL F1 debut, I believe it is James Head. At least alongside me, that's for sure. James, how are you tonight?
I am very well, looking forward to the action unfolding out of track. For those geeks out there that don't know Spa-Francorchamps, there are 19 turns, but I think you want to hear that Spa, actually the town, has a laundry museum. I wonder if we're going to be seeing any washing hanging out on track tonight.
Well, you
bad.
know what? Oh my goodness me. Anyway, welcome along to this one. James, obviously TTL F1 must be relatively new territory for you.
It is relatively new territory for me. I'm not sure if I actually covered you a couple of weeks ago on TTL F1. I might have done. Might not be my first time here, but we'll have to find out. But yeah, quite familiar drivers, as people do know. And Lyronic's currently leading the championship on 117 points, with Spike only 10 points behind. See how that's going to pan out tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And to go through those standings in full, Lyronic's on 117, Spike on 107. We've got White there, who is leaving the league on 67 points. Then it is Short in 4th on 50 points, Jack in 5th on 41, Warren in 6th on 37, Navy in 7th on 28, Troy in 8th on 26, Iceman in 9th on 20, with Recon rounding out the top 10 on 16 points. And then we have Alan K in 11th on 12 points, Maze in 12th on 10 points, Graham and Crazy Legs tied in 13th place. They're both on 8 points. Lighty in 15th on 7 points. Yuzi, who won't be here with us tonight, he has confirmed in the chat, but he is in 16th on 6 points. The Gort in 17th on 5 points, and then Hustwick in 18th place with 1 point. We do have a couple of driver changes and team changes. There's been more summer transfer activity, it seems. The race report before Spa, Red Bull changed their driver in real life, and they've also changed it in TTL F1. We have that driver change where Warren is now racing in the Red Bull, so he's got that massive call up, and that's going to be a huge pressure on him now, James.
You were going to say Andy there, weren't you?
No. What are you talking about? Who said that?
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Yeah, I've been looking at the streams for TTL F1 in recent weeks, and Dill Warren has really struck out at me as being one of those guys that can really fight for it. It'll be very interesting to see how he gets on. The other driver change, just to come on to that, is Liam Hustwick. He is joined from Renault. He's moving to Renault, from earning that promotion after a very nice performance last week. Interesting to see how he gets on as well.
Yeah, Williams will be hard done by to lose a driver like that, especially after he scored them their first point of the season. We got 6 rounds in, and finally Williams have a point on the board. Other drivers, we talked about Warren moving from Renault to Red Bull. 2 second places for Warren. We saw in his debut at Austria he was very frustrated to lose out on that first place actually, and finished in second. But 2 back-to-back second places. Is a win around the corner for Warren, do you reckon, James?
It has to be around the corner. It has to be. I mean, 2 impressive performances. Of course, he did win, but because of penalties, he did get them up down to second in one of his recent races. But again, his connection might be a little bit concerned. He's on a 3-bar for me, but he has got the profile to be a championship contender coming into this. I don't know how many rounds we've got left, but Dill Warren certainly a one to watch from my perspective. And a fun fact, he has been under my leadership before. I have had him in a league before as well.
Well, just to go over some championship details, of course, with Spa tonight we have 5 rounds to go, including Belgium tonight. Next round after this one will be Singapore, when we have Japan, Mexico, and then Abu Dhabi to round off the season. So not long to go, and with only 10 points between Lyronic's our leader in the Racing Point car and Spike in second in the Mercedes. It is all to play for as we head towards the closing stages of the season. Jack does join us tonight. He is, of course, a TTL F1 champion. Whenever he's made it to the flag, James, he's finished on the podium. He DNF'd in Australia, finished 3rd in China, no-showed at Spain, then he won in Canada, didn't show in Austria, then crashed out in Germany. So whenever he's made it to the checkered flag, he's got himself a podium. He's here tonight. Maybe he'll continue with that trend.
Of course, as well, and it's got to be vital as well of having Jack here. He is alongside Spike in that Mercedes, and just to come onto the constructors, Mercedes are leading the way in the championship, 148 points. They have got to better the Racing Point guys, Navy and Lyronics respectively. It's going to be a big fight between those two for the constructors standings, and I think Jack, as you say, he has taken to the checkered flag, getting a podium. We could see that tonight, however I feel it might be a little unlikely due to recent performances that we've seen in TTL F1 from the likes of Lyronics and Spike, but it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah, and well, let's have a look at some of the fastest laps here. You'll never guess who has the most fastest laps of the season. It's actually Jack, 2 fastest laps to his name. Other drivers who do have a fastest lap to their name include Lyronics and also his teammate Navy. We also have Warren, who has 1 fastest lap to his name as well. So yeah, quite a few drivers that are definitely quick over 1 lap. Let's see if they can be consistent throughout the race. 16 drivers so far with us tonight, which is great to see. Hopefully we have a couple more joining us, I hope. But yeah, one thing I do want to talk about, James, is the German partnership at McLaren of Troll and Lighty. Now, obviously, Lighty signed up in Spain but didn't start the race. So they both effectively made their McLaren debut in Canada. Troll 6th, 5th in his last 3 races. Lighty 8th, 10th and 9th. They're decent point scoring finishes. Just how well do you think could that partnership be towards the end of the season? And do you think McLaren will have that partnership again?
Consistency is a big thing in F1, and I think consistency from those two has been quite key to their championship points coming into tonight. They're only a point behind Ferrari in the constructors' standings, and with Ferrari having Mays and Sean at the helm, I think Lighty and Timo might just have enough pace and enough grit and determination to possibly jump ahead of Ferrari in the constructors' standings. And I think both of them very impressive performances, good point-scoring performances as well. Again, it'll be interesting to see how they get on here tonight, and I think the Germans could rule here tonight, possibly.
And let's just talk about Mays. Obviously, it has been a tough season for him in Ferrari. Only 1 point scoring finish, which was at Spain, where he finished in 5th place. Obviously, only 10 points to his name in a Ferrari. That's not a great sign, but it just shows you how tough it's been for him this season so far.
Yeah, it is not a great season for him so far. He has, however, ahead in the driver's standing to the likes of Crazy Legs, Lighty, Uzi. That's going to be a big confidence boost. I think he's 12th in the standings at the minute on 10 points, from my reckoning anyways, from what I've got up here. I think he's got to try and outmaneuver some of the guys ahead of him. Just watch out for the tactics from him, because it could be a little bit different tonight.
Yeah,
I think we're just getting ready to go as well.
Yeah, last 3 races, 11th, 12th, 11th. So he's really teetering on those points, but it's just not quite working for him at the moment. Do you think he'll have the confidence? He looks like he's got the confidence, saying he will take 12th. I think this is Mays knowing that maybe points are going to be a rarity, but he has scored them before. 5th place at Spain is nothing to shake your head at.
Yeah, 5th place in Spain, definitely worthwhile. That could fill him with a lot of confidence coming in tonight. Of course, recent results not going his way. Of course, that 14th as well in China, that just needs to be glossed over and looked upon. Not at all. But yeah, I think Mays could do quite well here. I think he can get some decent points. And
Andy will remember. He's moderating the chat tonight. Hello, Andy. It's good to see you again.
Hi, Andy.
You probably can't hear us, to be fair, but never mind. The point was that I believe it was 2 seasons ago, we had a very, very dramatic start to the Belgian Grand Prix in season number 12, where half of the field was wiped out at Eau Rouge and Radion. Let's hope we don't get another result like that, because, well, we ended up commentating over 8 drivers, which quickly became 6. So let's hope we don't get that tonight, James. And let's hope, as Spike says in the chat as well, that we get some engine sounds. Let's have a listen. Let's see if we get them. Did we get some V6s, or did we get nothing at all? Now wait for it. Wait, it's keeping us on.
I haven't got anything.
It's suspenseful. Don't worry about it. I'm getting
there we go.
I'm getting some audio. Getting definitely some as we headed to qualify.
I've got the crowd in the background.
You've got the crowd. Let's have a look. Let's see if there's an engine starting up soon. No, Well, okay. Let's talk over the awaiting of the engine sounds. Let's hope someone starts their engine soon so we can actually hear them spark into life. Warren's very happy that there's no rain whatsoever so far. But of course, with the track being 7 kilometers long through a forest, it's very, very easy to see rain could be on the horizon. And oh no, we've got electric cars again. Oh no.
Oh no.
No, why?
Have you got no engine sounds?
I've got nothing. I've got no engine sounds.
You've got nothing. I can hear the glorious sound of the cars going around on track on my end.
Well, I can't. I definitely
Very
can't.
strange.
Oh well. Well, of course, this means I'll probably have to leave the lobby and come back. Let's see if there's anything I can do right now. Some people say the race director going in here and seeing something happen. Maybe
it does normally mitigate it, but I don't think it has been fixed yet.
Okay, well, send me an invite, James, and I'll be back soon. But,
oh, I can't. I can't send you an invite.
What do you mean you can't?
I'm spectating.
What do you mean you can't send me an invite?
I can't send you an invite. It says race director or quit to main menu, and I don't want to do the latter either.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll find a way back in. Don't worry. Well, in the meantime, James. Obviously, at some point, I'm going to have to press the PS button or whatever in order to get us back in and back into the lobby. But yeah, obviously 7.004 kilometers around a track like that is it's going to be pretty interesting. Obviously, we had you know, multiple occasions where it's been raining on one part of the circuit and not the other, so it should be pretty interesting to see how it all develops. And the reason I'm not letting you talk, James, is because I'm in the PS menu right now, which means only my voice is getting broadcast, so that's why I'm just sort of covering my own tracks and seeing what can happen around about here. I'm trying to find the lobby it was in, panicking a little bit. There we go, I found it. Okay, I can now join the session. I was
going to say, did Sean not give you an invite there?
No, I don't know. I haven't checked that. Oh yeah, all of the invites are coming through now. So thank you very much, everyone. Let's hope this time, fingers crossed, that we get some sound. And James, did I miss absolutely anything out there?
Just people going on laps, bit of yellow flag in sector 3, but nothing too much. I'm just on board with Navy actually. He's the first one out on track, and he's just coming up towards the Lecombe chicane at turns 5, 6, and 7 at the end of the second DRS straight. Of course, there's 2 DRS straights here in Bahrain. In Belgium. And Sean is out of the session already. Is that a rouge? Let's have a look. Is Sean out at a rouge? That's Radion actually. Yeah, he's off on the right-hand side of the wall.
Oh no.
Very interesting that.
He hasn't just said that, has he? What have you done to me, James?
You what? That's Radion actually, yeah.
I thought it was a moment where I didn't think you actually said it, but you did, and that's what made it worse.
No,
anyway.
I did. I knew I said it.
There you go. There it is. Well, my goodness.
Anyways, yeah. Navy's still on the lap. He's just coming through towards the Stavilo section at the end of Sector 2. Just getting caught in the curve there slightly, the Dutchman. He is on the lap at the minute. You should be aiming for around 114, I think, through the middle sector. The 115.7 on a set of soft compound of tyres. Interestingly, Crazy Legs on my graphic is the only one out on a hard set of tyres at this moment in time. But Navy is about to come round the final couple of corners now through Blanchimont, now to the bus stop chicane at turns 18 and 19. Let's see what he's going to do. Brakes very hard. He's using up the ERS very nicely. About 50% left on this lap as Navy comes towards the line. What's the first lap going to be? It is a 43.9 from Navy. Quicker than my time trial lap, that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there goes Recon, who goes 3/10 quicker. 143.693 from Recon in the Haas. And then Warren goes even quicker, 143.475, making his debut here for Red Bull, having switched from Renault. The Red Bull higher-uppers, impressed then by his recent form in the Renault. Only 2 races in, and he's already got that move to Red Bull. There is Straw then, 144.1 in the McLaren. The Gort then, who got some points, some decent points last time out, at 145.587. Of course, that time is on the medium tyres, the yellow wheel medium tyres. Yellow flags in Sector 3. Meanwhile, I believe that's Spike's
gone second. Spike going second, yeah, 43.5. Nice lap. And Charlie just coming across line 51.6 as well.
Here is Lyronix then, making his way around the final couple of corners. Jack goes fastest, 143, 183. Here comes Lyronix towards the line. He's on the hard tyres and sets a 45-1, which puts him 7th place.
Lighty is at the session. That is, I think, same place as Sean. Just run above Curtis. Exactly the same place. Exactly the same place, right-hand side.
Yeah, on the right-hand side. That might catch a couple of drivers out, especially on lap 1 with cold tyres and a heavy fuel load. That is going to be a real hot spot to keep an eye on at the moment. So Charlie there, 151.6. I think there was a bit of a sighter lap there from Charlie on those medium tyres. Mays, Alan Kay and Graham still yet to emerge from the pit lane here in Belgium. And the thing about Belgium is it's one of the longest laps on the calendar. 7.004 kilometres of track lay ahead of us. So it's a long track. These tyres have to do a lot of hard work. And, well, in recent years in you know, reality, in real Formula 1, drivers have been really struggling, especially on their hot lap, of keeping those tyre temperatures in check.
Yeah, they have to keep their tyres obviously in check with it being such a long lap, around 4.6 mile in length, one of the longest tracks on the calendar, as you say. So it's going to be interesting to see, and it's also going to be very interesting to see, and just to pick up on what we've seen with Sean and Lighty crashing out of the session already, that back end does like to kick out through a Rouge and up to Radion. It does like to kick out, so if you just feather off the throttle a little bit, that might just counteract the back end being kicked out, and that's why you've seen Lighty and Sean already at the session as well. Charlie, by the way, has just improved 45.4, fastest of the medium runners.
Yeah, it's a good lap from him then in the Alfa Romeo, as he now puts himself ahead of the group by just over a tenth of a second. May says the F2 race on Tuesday here will feel quite long, and well, yes and no. Obviously, it feels like it goes on for an eternity. However, it's such a legendary track. I don't think many people will mind that too much.
Yeah, yellow flag sector 1, by the way. It's Charlie slowing down on the Kemmel straight. Nothing to be worried about. We've only got 2 out on track, actually.
Yeah. And Charlie's on an in lap, so let's ride on board with Crazy Legs, who is actually on a flying lap right now, heading now down towards Brussels. And this is such a tight corner and such a difficult corner. Very easy to lock up the front tyres here as you make your way down towards Ix. This used to be No Name, and then they renamed it to Ix after, of course, legendary Belgian driver, now making their way towards Boo on this double left-hander through turns 10 and 11. Watch out for that curve on the inside. It can catch you out just like it did for Crazy Legs there, as we now make our way up towards Campus now. Through turn 12, then it's Campus of 13, and as James rightly said, coming towards Stavalo towards turn 14, and then you've got turn 15 up ahead, this long right-hander which is very easy to understeer. Those walls, those tyre walls on the left-hand side get perilously close the more your tyre wear goes on. Then we head through Blanchard on turn 17, flat out in these cars. Absolutely amazing to see as we now make our way up towards the chicane here. You can call it the bus stop chicane if you want. It's not the bus stop, however, as Crazy Legs are, after all that, comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, he invalidated on the lap somewhere. I think it was in the first sector, running up a Rouge and Radion, possibly, through that section there. Yeah.
I think it was later. I think it was at Bouon. He ran wide, and of course he rejoined the circuit, and I think it invalidated there. However, yes, either way.
Yeah, he was already down with his ERS, actually. He dropped it down to 0, so it might have just been before then, possibly.
Lyronix in the chat there says that it's Radion, actually, that James said earlier, made him laugh so hard it ruined his lap. Well, it ruined his lap so badly. Well, it ruined his lap so badly, he managed 7th place on hard tyres.
Not a bad lap. He's only 300ths off T-Raw as well. Still Warren's just started the lap, by the way, coming up towards the Rouge.
There is Lyronix here, still on an hour lap. Let's ride on board with Warren then as he makes his way through Radion and now down the Kemmel straight. DRS wide open now as he tries to take the straightest possible line down the Kemmel straight. Try and build up that speed. As you can see there, 210 miles an hour before we start braking in towards Les Cobb through turn 5, 6 and then through turn 7. Very easy to carry too much speed through 7. Use that AstroTurf on the left-hand side now, going down towards Brussels here. Wide line through there to try and prioritise the exit on towards, this is the left-hander, a turn 9 of X corner. and then very careful not to take too much curve on the right hand side here as we make our way now down towards Poo on turn 10 and then through turn 11. Very careful not to pick up that left hand side curve there on the inside of turn 11. It can easily throw the car and unsettle it there. Now Warren is trying to use these curves which drag you into the corner on the inside of turn 12, not so much to the inside of turn 13 as we make our way now through Stavlo and then on towards this flying turn 15 right now, where Warren is keeping the car under control, nice and controlled right now. We're heading towards 16 here and then towards Blanchimont of turn 17, and Red Bull will be hoping that he can take some of that Renault form and pop it straight into the Red Bull from the get-go, braking hard now towards one of the slowest parts of the track here, slowing it all the way down to 50 miles an hour here. Even less than that through turn 19, and Warren here backing out of that lap, it seems, 143.2. And yeah, second place right now. I think that has the potential to be a pole winning time at the moment. However, for whatever reason, he backed out of it on the start-finish straight.
Yeah, very interesting. Took very short gears as well to the line as well. But he did improve there by nearly 0.2 of a second. T-Roll, by the way, is out of the session. He has crashed on the exit of Stavolo. The exit of Stavolo, clearly getting on the wall. Clearly getting on the curve, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. So Troy is out then, currently 6th place. He'll finish no higher. Both McLarens then out of this qualifying session as Spike then making his way on towards the final couple of corners. Now, Spike exiting turn 19. Let's see what this lap is. Currently 4th place at the moment
42.
as he makes his way towards the line. Provisional pole. 43.054 from Spike then. And it puts him on pole by just over 1/10 of a second. However, Jack is on a flying lap right now as he makes his way now through Stavolo. Navy making his way now as you hear the car scraping along the ground heading towards Lake Com. Let's ride on board with Jack then as he approaches the end of his lap, approaching 200 miles an hour, then exceeding it as he makes his way now through Blanchimont and on towards now that final chicane, which is oh so important. Very careful of the wheel spin on the exit of turn 19 here. Here is Jack then still in first gear, then switches up to second gear, watching that wheel spin straight as possible towards the line. 42.963 from Jack, first person into the 42s, and Jack then puts it on provisional pole position with just over 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, fantastic lap from Jack as well. Spike just under 1/10 of a second off. Still Warren just coming back into the pits. Navy with a good lap as well, 43.3. Lyronix, interestingly, now on the medium compound tyres, has just set a lap on a 43.9. He's now a full second off of Jack's time. We should see further improvement from him, I would imagine. Here
is Alan Kay then, making his way towards the final chicane in the Alfa Romeo, and he comes straight into the pits. So that's the end of that. Then Navy, meanwhile, currently 4th place in the Racing Point car, 43.3, not too far off the front runners, but again he comes into the pits. I'm seeing a pattern here now emerging. Whoever I ride on board with seems to come straight into the pits. How about Lyronix then, who set his best lap time on the medium tyres, 43.9.
He's down.
He is down. I think he's coming back to the pits then. So well, we'll see. Yeah, he's in mode 0, so I think he is coming back to the pits. The Gort then in mode 0, coming back to the pits. I'm seeing a big pattern here. I think most of these drivers are heading back to the pits. Recon is not, though. He's in hot lap mode then in the ERS, and he's making his way now through Blanchimont. Oh, clipping the grass there on the right-hand side. That's actually going to slow the car down, and they had, well, it loses you a lot of speed then. Here is Recon making his way through the final couple of corners, and I think that sums it all up for me. I think I'm just choosing the wrong drivers at the wrong time. Meanwhile, Graham then is making his way towards Eau Rouge and then through Radion. Currently 14th place, hasn't set a lap time yet. Oh, there goes the back end, and there goes Graham out of qualifying. Cold tyres, and Graham will be taking no further part in qualifying. Big shunt then, and that's what will happen if the rear tyres are just too cold, especially coming out of the pit lane.
Yeah, very big shunt. He was just starting his lap as well, actually, Graham. Very unfortunate. The third one to go out at that same corner. And I knew immediately from going from Eau Rouge up to Radion that the way the car was carrying off the camber of the corner, he was never going to make it through there. Never. Fraser Legs, by the way, is the only one out on track.
Yeah, he's currently on an outlap. Yeah, he's currently on an outlap at Brussels. on the medium tyres as he makes his way now on towards X corner. Yeah, as you say, James, the only one out on track, so it's probably a good time to show you the provisional results right now. We're just under 3 minutes to go. It is Jack currently on provisional pole position with a 42.962. It is Spike in second, Warren third, Navy fourth, Recon fifth, Lyronic sixth, Draw in 7th, The Gort in 8th, Charlie 9th, Lighty in 10th, Crazy Legs in 11th, Alan Kate in 12th. We are still waiting to see Maze emerge from the pit lane, and just as I say that, he's actually retired in the pit lane from qualifying altogether. So that is both Ferraris down in 13th and 15th place.
Yeah, possibly a bit of a tactical ploy there for the Ferrari boys. The nearest rivals in the constructor standings will be starting ahead of them, and that is the McLarens of T-Raw and Lighty. They're going to be gaining massive amount. If it stays as it is, Ferrari are going to be losing big time. By the way, Crazy Legs just about to start a lap.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem now that the McLaren team face is they want the drivers behind to get quicker laps than them. Crazy Legs just getting a little bit back end stepping out on him out of turn 19. That will cost him his run down towards turn 1. Not the entire lap though. Let's see how he does then in towards the source hairpin. Yeah, the one thing about the McLarens is they'll be hoping that they will get out qualified and out of the top 10, because obviously the rules state that you have to be, or if you qualify in the top 10, you have to start on the tyres you qualified on. However, if those tyres decide that, or unavailable through a crash or whatever, those tyres are gone for good. So it's not like they'll be able to have another set with them. No, they're gone, those tyres. So although they'll be starting on a new set of tyres, they'll have to be the soft tyres. So they'll be down a tyre when it comes to race time.
Yeah, which is a shame, and I think they'll be hoping to try and actually, well, get some improvements ahead. And Crazy Legs, by the way, going miles off, and that was into X there. Goodness me.
I was taking a drink at the time then.
Yeah, that's a session done. That is a session done. He's retired out on track. Gort on a lap and Dill Warren on a lap. He's up towards the Rouge.
Yeah, Warren making his way through Radion now. Lots of grip in that Red Bull as he makes his way now on towards the Kemmel straight now. Again, using the straightest line possible. He's literally drawing that from turn 4 there and trying to straight line it as much as possible to build up as much speed as possible as well. Now coming through turn 7, that's the end of Campus as he makes his way now down towards Brussels. Looks nice and in control of that Red Bull so far on those soft tyres, going up a gear to help with the traction on the exit. Now in towards X corner. Again, trying to grab that inside curb. Lovely amount of exit curve used there as we now head down towards turns 10 and 11 through Pool, and then catch the curve on the first part, avoid the curve on the second part as much as possible as we now head towards turn 12 and 13. That will be of Campus. Just in control of that car, and he seems to be drawing lines out there and hitting them perfectly then as we make our way now towards turn 14, the end of sector 2. Checkered flag comes out. Charlie is taking the checkered flag. He is currently in 9th place. There's only Alan Kay able to get any higher at the moment. That's his teammate. Warren now making his way in towards Blanchimont. This is turn 17 now, once again full throttle as we now make our way on towards the final couple of corners, the final chicane now. And Warren on his last flying lap struggled for traction out of this final corner. Let's see how he gets on now. Looks better this time around as he makes his way towards the line. 42.843 from the Red Bull driver. And let's see what the response is. We've got Jack there making his way out of Stavilo. We've got Navy making his way around the final corner. Let's see what the Racing Point car of Navy can do as he comes towards the line. 42.8 puts himself up to 2nd place. Let's see, that's Loronix out there, so he's starting no higher than 6th place. Jack, meanwhile, heading in towards the final 2 corners now. Nice, smooth and controlled. Can he try and nick pole position here from under Warren's nose here in Belgium? At the moment, yes, by a huge margin. 142.3 from Jack there. Let's see how his teammate can fare. We've got Recon who crosses the line. He does improve, but it was invalidated. So he stays in 5th place. Loronix, of course, no higher than 6th right now. But he will be starting on those medium tyres. Here is Spike then, making his way through Blanchimont. One of the last drivers to set a lap time here. The only other driver out there on track to set a lap time is Alan Kay. Spike now making his way through the final chicane. And now trying to make sure that he gets the traction right. Oh, a little bit of a back end stepping out there as he crossed the line. No improvement from Spike then. He stays in 4th place as Alan Kay crosses the line to take 12th place, I believe, there. But that is the other Mercedes of Jack taking pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Very impressive lap time from Jack. Really impressive. 42.3, 4.5 tenths clear of Dill Warren.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jack takes pole position in the Mercedes, Warren in second in the Red Bull on his Red Bull debut as well, taking second place. Navy in third in the Racing Point car, Spike in fourth, Recon there in fifth in the Haas, getting up to fifth place with Lyronix in sixth. But remember, he's starting on those medium tyres. Straw is in seventh with Begort in eighth, Charlie in ninth on the medium tyres. Again, he'll be starting those on those medium tyres. And then Lighty in 10th place. Of course, the McLarens will have to start on a fresh set of soft tyres. But of course, they will have to use one of those allocated tyres because they crashed out of the session. Crazy Legs then in 11th place and Alan Kay in 12th. The rest of the drivers, we did not get a new car. Oh, a new time, sorry. We didn't see them set a lap. I don't know what I'm saying now.
Oh, it's looking very overcast.
It is looking pretty overcast. Let's see what the weather forecast is going to be like. I wonder. Well, let's have your predictions then. Who do you reckon will get the win here in Belgium? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know as well who you're supporting tonight. Here's a tip: you can't support yourself. Let us know who you think is going to take the win here in Belgium. And as I say, every time Jack has made it to the checkered flag, he has been on the podium. But he's starting on pole position now with a healthy margin of just over 4 tenths of a second. That was the difference between himself and Warren. Warren starting in second place. He's finished second twice before on his first 2 races. Would it be second place again, or can he try and go for the race win? And of course we have Lyronix down in 6th place. However, he is starting on the medium tyres. He will be one to watch in this race to see if he can make that alternate strategy work. I'm pretty sure he wasn't meant to start on the medium tyres, but that's how it's going right now as the cars make their way onto the formation lap and down towards La Source hairpin for the first time. Of course, we saw that massive crash Grosjean started back in 2012. We've also seen the crash that Nico Hulkenberg started back in 2018. So we have seen a fair few incidents down in towards La Source. And of course, James, this is the longest outlap on the calendar, so we've got plenty of time to talk about whatever we like.
Yeah, we have, and I think, honestly, it is going to be so interesting to come off the start. I don't think we're going to see any Hulkenberg-Grosjean crashes at all. These guys know their limits, and it's going to be clean and competitive up to around Rouge and Radion, where you're going to see the action start to kick off. In terms of the tyre strategy, Alan Kay, Mays and Sean, the only 3 of the bottom 5 drivers going on a set of medium compound of tyres, so they're going to go longer into the race. Fraser Legs and S. Graham, respectively, starting on the soft compound of tyres, so they're not going to go as far into the race as possible. But how's a one-stop round here? Is a one-stop possible round here with those tyres?
With the medium tyres, definitely. You'll be looking mediums to hards. With the soft tyres, though, you know, it's going to be interesting. Of course, these tyres aren't meant to last that long, and especially around a track like Spa with 7 kilometres, you're looking at anywhere between 4 to 6 laps on those soft tyres, and then trying to make the medium to the hards last right to the end. So a one-stop is possible there, but you have to be really good on your tyres. That's going to be an advantage for Spike. We all know that he loves to drive to a delta. He said it before. Will drive to a delta, and that's it. He will want to do that. As Warren actually in the chat there saying soft to medium. He's pretty confident that he'll get the mediums to the end, but I'm not so sure actually, especially around a track like Belgium. It can catch you out. It's a long lap here at Spa, and if you get a puncture or damage at any point on the track, it is such a long way back to the pit lane. Surely keeping your front wing clean in this race will surely lead to a good result.
Yeah, you've got to keep your front wing clean, and of course tyre management is going to be very key around here in Belgium. We've said it before, 4.6 mile in length, 7 kilometres in length as well. It's going to be interesting to see. If Dill Warren can make a one-stop, then I'd give him £5. If I was right next to him, I'd give him £5 right now and say that is not going to work at all. I'm so confident that's not going to work that he'll have to go into the hard compound of tyres.
He's confident. Will it come back to bite him, I wonder? Well, I mean, you're confident in the bet. That's what I'm saying. However, we are lining up.
Oh yeah, sorry, just to pick up, there's going to be no rain in the race. I've had a check of the comments, no rain in the race.
Well, we'll have to see whether that weather report is right then. We are waiting here. We're moments away from the Belgian Grand Prix here at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It is 5 red lights here in TTL F1. And round 7 is underway, and what the start's like, it's a terrible start for Spike then, as the Racing Point car and the Haas car of Recon and Lyronics get better starts in towards the source hairpin we go. It is Jack who leads, Navy is up to 2nd place, that is Lighty who has to take to avoiding the track there. Warren fighting back though as we head towards Eau Rouge and then up the hill through Radion now. It looks okay right now. Oh, the back end's gone for Navy, and he's collected the Haas there. Navy out of the Belgian Grand Prix in dramatic circumstances. He took Recon with him. Recon had absolutely nowhere to go. He's just an innocent bystander in that one. And Navy there just lost the back end, cold tyres. And that is the end of his day then. So Recon will be pretty furious to be caught up with that. But to be honest with you, there was nothing he could do about that one. Just an innocent bystander. The Gort, meanwhile, up to 6th place. And Crazy Legs is up to 7th place. A good start there from the two of them. But meanwhile, as we head in towards Pouon now, Jack does lead from Warren. It is Lyronics in 3rd. He started 6th, remember. So he's having a good day so far. Spike down to 4th, though. Not a great start for him. He seems to have gone forwards and backwards at the same time. Settled in 4th place, though, as he makes his way now towards Campus. Shaw then up to 5th place. He did start in 7th as Graham now finds a way past Charlie, and through Campus, Graham is up a position to 8th place in the Toro Rosso. Charlie there in 9th, and Sean is now trying to go round the outside here. Through, this is turn 14, he's all right around the outside, through turn 15 now, Charlie backs out of it, Sean onto the gravel, just about keeping it on track there, but Charlie could have another bite of the cherry as we head down towards 14 and then through Blanchimont. He'll be in the slipstream now as we head through Blanchimont now. He's got to be careful because Mays is right behind him as well towards the final chicane then of turn 18 and 19. Mays is going to try and go up the inside. This is for the final points position then. Mays has to go round the outside at turn 19 and he's just about made it work. Both Ferraris then up into the points there. Hard battling from Charlie, but he just couldn't quite make it work. At the end of lap 1, Jack leads, Warren 2nd, Lyronics 3rd, Spike 4th, Shaw in 5th, McCourt in 6th, Crazy Legs in 7th, Graham 8th, Sean 9th, Mays in 10th, Charlie 11th, Alan K 12th, Lighty 13th, Recon 14th, Lighty and Recon into the pits with Navy retiring just at the top of Radion. Whew. Give me a minute to get my breath
Dramatic
back.
start. Dramatic start. Navy spinning out. That loss of the back end really, really key. And Recon just a simple bystander and an innocent act, really. And it's such a shame. In the meantime, though, Mays and Charlie going side by side until they come. A little bit of lag going on here, but Mays is through and he is up to P11. Sorry, Mays is in P10, I should say. I was looking above with Alan K for a minute there. I don't know why I was doing that. Sean trying to pressurise S. Graham as well. But Spike is starting to get closer to Lyronics. He seems to be coming back and fighting back on those softs for 4th. Oh, this is a 3rd even.
You're all right there, James. You seem to be having trouble with the
I need to get my words out.
It's all right. It's working with me. It's the pleasure of working with me. I'll put it down to that. Yeah, as you say though, Lyronics is under pressure from Spike though. Remember, Lyronics starting on those medium tyres up to 3rd place. He just kept his nose clean, as I said, was the thing to do. But we've only got the one Racing Point car in the race so far, so this is not going to help their Constructors' Championship fight. And this is Spike now making his way through Blanchimont, right on his tail now as we head towards the chicane. Spike here will have to go the long way round initially, but he'll have the inside line for turn 19 as the Racing Point and the Mercedes battling together through turn 18. Spike has the inside line for 19 and he's got the position done then. DRS is now online, so it's a long time before DRS is enabled, and of course it's, well, depending on how you look at it, the shortest time possible with only 18 laps in which to use it. However, Spike is up into the podium positions now, and now he can try and hunt down Warren ahead of him.
Yeah, fantastic move by Spike. Great commitment into the bus-stop chicane. Lyronics having no chance on the set of medium compound of tyres. He has got DRS though, so he's going to try and come back at him down the Kemmel straight as they run down towards Lecom, and Lyronics is getting closer, but I don't think he's close enough for a move, is he? Yeah, he's not going to try it down into Lecom, and nowhere past for Lyronics. However, Sean and S. Graham going side by side. Sean around the outside of Lecom, is he? Oh, and there's contact! A little bit of contact, Sean just leaning in on S. Graham there. A little bit unfortunate, but I think Sean would have got the move done anyway, as he's up there.
Well, Charlie now up to 10th place with the help of DRS, so Mays is back down to 11th place, so Mays has it all to do once again, but Jack is just keeping his head down and keeping focused, and of course he is a Drivers' Champion in TTL F1, so he's just trying to focus on building that gap now with the sun trying to poke through those gloomy clouds. and Jack is still leading the way. Warren 2 seconds back then in the Red Bull, and Red Bull, I think, have made a really, really good signing in Warren to try and spearhead this attack.
Yeah, looking good. He's just losing a little bit of time though. Jack just has a little bit too much pace from at this stage. Of course, tactics will come into play, especially tyre management. Very crucial at the end of the day. 2.2 seconds that gap currently.
Oh, mate!
Jack is a better stop.
Oh, coming out of turn 15, got way too close. Yeah, at Stavilo to that tyre wall. He knew that, backed out of it, and just about kept it out of the wall. He was onto the grass though, so that's not going to be helpful for his tyres. But he's still in this race with a front wing intact.
Yeah, very lucky indeed. Alan Kay now only a second behind him as they come into bus stop once again. We're on lap 4, and it's Jack who leads, still Warren second, Spike in third. Lyronix in fourth. Those mediums might be just starting to come to him a little bit. Those tyre temps starting to heat up, and Lyronix, I think, is starting to get a little bit closer here. He's not going to get the move done at all then until they come. But just watch out, because I think Lyronix could have the pace in the next couple of laps as those softs begin to wear away.
Of course, you do have that crossover point where the soft tyres start to be a little bit worse for wear than the medium tyres, and that will come around about I'd say in about 3 or 4 laps time we'll start to see the medium tyres really have the upper hand. For now though, the softs look like they're just about coping, with Jack now having a 2.4 second lead over Warren. So Lyronix here, he's really limited in what sort of strategy he can do. Really, it's medium to hard is what the strategy is going to be. But they'll have to pick quite early for those mediums if he wants the hard tyres to work. Just about go under race distance, I would say around about 9 or 10 laps before he'll really have to start thinking about coming in. But yeah, medium to soft is going to be a really, really tricky strategy to pull off.
It is going to be a very hard strategy to pull off. Of course, still Warren, me putting a 5 on the line there, lying on that softs and mediums will not work. It's going to be very interesting to see. Lyronix, I think, as you say, should be coming in around 9 or 10 laps into the race, so lap 9 or lap 10 will be interesting to see. He's just dropped out of DRS zone, and Spike is all of a sudden very close to Dill Warren. Did he make a slight mistake out of Bronchemont, perhaps? That gap's just reduced.
Perhaps, but it was on the run up towards the last chicane, because of course Spike had the DRS there, so something must have happened before that detection point. As we've got yellow flag in sector 3. And,
it's his DRS. Alan Kay is spun. Blanchemont.
Well, here is Spike then closing in on Warren. Of course, he gets a big dose of dirty air through Eau Rouge and Radion. This time, though, he's got the DRS, and look at the speed difference here with the ERS as well. And Spike then moves up to second place. Not a lot Warren can do to defend against that. And so Spike now up to second place. It is now currently a Mercedes 1-2 with Warren trying to spearhead the attack in third place. Now, Warren's got to be careful here. He'll have Lyronix behind him. And let's see what the tyre data that Red Bull are going to try and give Warren actually is.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much the tyres possibly, it's more the ERS. Spike running a little bit more on the ERS, about 5 or 6% more, and that's why you saw him just breeze past down the Kemmel Straight. But Dill Warren is staying there, he's still sticking. This might be part of his master plan to try and get this one stuff to work.
Navy in the chat there with only one thing to say, and that was a sad face. You got to feel for Navy, you put in all that hard work and all that effort, and he's actually saying sorry to Recon, but losing the back end like that and just collecting someone, it's a real racing incident. I think there's not a lot he could have done there, apart from maybe take a bit less speed, but you're racing, it happens.
Yeah, unfortunate incidents do happen, and it's so unfortunate for Navy, but do take that qualifying performance with you into the next race, because that's a positive light you can shine upon, even if you are out the race.
Warren here still trying to close in on Spike, but look how close
Lyronix
is now on those medium tyres. And it goes to show here that choosing your race tyre here in Spa is so crucial. And normally the middle stage tyre is the race tyre of choice here in Belgium. And it's when you put that middle tyre on.
It is, yeah. I think Spike and Dill Warren now starting to back each other up a little bit. Lyronix getting closer. Look out for T-Raw as well. That gap has just reduced slightly. He's just 1.8 seconds off. If these three now start battling ahead, T-Raw could be the one to pick out the whole lot. I think he's catching the three guys ahead.
Yeah, but these three are running in close formation, and that's good news for Truro because that means he'll be able to really pick up the pace. Recon there with a 5-second penalty there, so that means he'll have to, I believe he has to serve that in his next pit stop.
Yes, he does. I think he went way too deep into the bus stop chicane, and that's why he's got that 5-second time penalty. Lyronic still won, only 4.5 tenths as they come through Puon, and it's all just starting to bunch up a little bit. Spike coming back to Dill Warren, and Lyronic's now starting to charge on these mediums as they started to come into the tyre attempts, and they start to warm up essentially, and these clouding conditions are definitely going to help the medium compounder tyre.
Well, absolutely. Well, we're 6 laps in, and currently Spike is trailing his teammate by 4.7 seconds. So Jack has really got his head down here. He really wants a race win to try and come back with a bang. As there you can see Mercedes, Red Bull, then Racing Point as we make our way now up towards the final couple of corners. Lap 6 of the Belgian Grand Prix. It is Jack who leads from Spike, Warren, Lyronix, Traun, Begort, Crazy Leg, Sean Graham, Charlie Mays, Lighty Recon and Alan Kay. 14 runners out of the 15 we started with. Of course, Navy crashing out on lap 1 just at the top of Radion.
Yeah, interesting to know that this battle for second now is pretty much within a second. Interesting to know position gains. Sean getting 7, Graham getting 5, Crazy Legs getting 4. They're the best gainers. Recon dropping 8 because of that contact, and Lyronix beginning to look close, but look at Dill Warren's run out of Radion, and he's beginning to catch Spike. Down the Kettle straight. He's not going to be close enough for the move though.
No, Spike went defensive to try and break the slipstream and then moved over to the racing line, which you're allowed to do here. As Spike then trying to just defend that second place. He knows Warren's got the DRS. He knows that Warren's going to be quicker than him down the straight. So he's just doing everything he can in the rule book to make sure that Warren can't get past him. At the moment, it's working.
It is working. Spike defensive, driving really defensively well, and it's good to see him driving well. But he is losing that time to Jack. Jack beginning to pull away. It's now 5.5 seconds that gap. I think 6 tenths on the last lap alone for Jack. He's got the speed. Will he have the tyres though to go deeper into this race, as is the norm? You said earlier on 4 to 6 laps I think was the period of changeover, and you can really quite clearly see this with Lyronix now starting to catch these two ahead. And T-Raw, as I said a couple of laps ago, 1.6 seconds off. That gap is just reducing now, 1.4 seconds. The German is not out of this.
Absolutely not. Well, let's see what happens with Jack then. I'm expecting pit window to be open soon, but there goes my stats all out of the window because lots of these drivers are staying out, apart from Warren, who comes into the pit. So he's the one that blinks first, and he makes his way into the pits then from 3rd place that was. So let's see what sort of tyres he'll be choosing, whether he'll stick with the mediums yet. Yellow wall mediums look like they're ready in the Red Bull garage. So on they go then, and that will be his second stint. Now if he's planning only one stop here, so those medium tyres now have to last him 14 laps, or 15 laps actually, to be to correct myself. So he has to get double the life out of these medium tyres than he did with the softs. That's going to be a difficult task for him.
Yeah, and he's just came out in traffic as well, just behind S. Graham, who's still yet to pit. He will have the tow running down the straight. Lyronic's getting close to Spike. He's gained that time, and S. Graham, I think, just decided to let him through there. He made a mistake, and Dill Warren is through already. He's up to P8. Interesting battle further down. Lighty Recon 5 tenths off. They've been at it for a couple of laps now. We're never close enough for any sort of move. But I think we've got to focus on Lyronix because he's gaining on Spike.
Absolutely, as they head through Puon now, that double left-hander now on the way now towards turns 12 and 13 of Campus. Yeah, Lyronix here on those medium tyres. It looks like it's a good strategy so far. I just wonder what tyres he's going to select for his second stint.
It's going to have to be a set of, if he can make it around. Oh!
Lighty around there that is turn number 5. And I believe he was on the inside. Yeah, that was at Lecom. So he was on the inside of Recon. Not sure whether there was contact or not, but it sent the front spinning around. And Lighty, now down the field, now lost 8 seconds at least in that incident.
Yeah, I was on board with that actually. And Recon was going around the outside into Lecom. So I'm not sure what's happened there. Spike, by the way, is into the pits from P2. And T-Raw responded behind as well. Let's see how Dill Warren is going to do the undercut. The Ghost in as well. We're going to be seeing a lot of activity in the pits.
Absolutely, medium tyres on for the Mercedes car as the McLaren comes in now, and look at that, medium tyres once again. Looks like people are just avoiding those hard tyres. And let's see then, down the field, Warren now making his way on towards the source hairpin. Where is Spike then? He's making his way out of the pit lane then, and so Warren has jumped him, and of course it's such a long lap here at Spa that the undercut here can be very, very powerful. Here's Warren then, who's right on the back of Sean. You can hear, if you see it here in the background, that Warren's car is really scraping along the ground with the DRS wide open then as we head now down towards Lake Com, and Warren around the outside. I don't think Sean gave him too much of a battle there, but Warren now up to 4th place.
Yeah, good move out of the way of the traffic as well. Sean now will try and back up back into Spike. That gap is edging towards 3.2 seconds between Warren and Spike. That is currently for net P2 out on track. Jack, by the way, still to come in. I think Dill Warren might be in the lead of the race by when Jack comes out of the pits. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I will have to, because our average pit stop here, the pit lane's very short here, so you're looking at around about 22, maybe 24 seconds. However, the pit lane exit here really nullifies your speed, and it's very apparent all the way to Lake Com, so you've got to be pretty strategic about when you head into the pits. And here is Jack then making his way in towards the pit lane from the lead of the race then. He's done 8 laps on those tyres and he pits on lap 9, so Jack then in towards the pits he comes, and medium tyres are at the ready in the Mercedes garage. Quick as you like for this one. On go a set of mediums, and away Jack goes. So Lyronix takes the lead of the race then. Let's see. Oh, Crazy Legs! Crazy Legs is in the wall! I'm sure that's at the pit lane entrance, and it is! Crazy Legs, who was having such a good race there, has now crashed into the wall, heading into the pit lane. So Warren here sets the fast lap of the race, but Jack re-emerges into the 2nd place position. So he re-emerges ahead of Warren. That was important for him, but that's a disaster for Crazy Legs there. And the pit crew will, of course, have to change that front wing now, which is going to be a long, long time for the Haas crew. That's going to be hugely annoying and hugely frustrating there for Crazy Legs. Not sure how it happened. He just ended up in the wall. Maybe he locked up heading into the pit lane entrance, but for whatever reason, that front wing has taken a beating, and he'll now have to repair that. But there we go, then Jack gets a 3-second time penalty. We're running aboard Spike then as Sean tries to defend then through Lake Com, but on the exit down towards Brussels decides not to pursue that position, although he will try and sneak his front wing up the inside. But there Sean rather gives up on that one, and Spike moves up to 4th place.
Yeah, good move there. I'm just watching. Recon has gone past Charlie down the Camel Street. He's actually going to... Oh, I thought he was going to go down the inside of Crazy Legs. Very unfortunate for Crazy Legs. Charlie off over the...
Oh, Crazy Legs out!
Well, and Crazy Legs is on the wall!
Crazy Legs out at turn 7. Just looked like he lost control of the car completely. I'll have a look back on the stream to get a clearer look at that one. Obviously, my stream runs at about 15 seconds behind, so I'm just watching Charlie there as they came towards Lake Com. And he obviously almost...
Oh, Sean's out! Sean's out! Stavalo! Oh, he's hit the wall. Very hard impact.
Very hard indeed, and the Gort has to take evasive action. His car is in the middle of the track, just through Stavalo. So Sean, who was running a good race there, I think he's understeered, I think, at turn 15 and hit the wall. That's the only way I can think.
Recon's just gone round the Pouon as well. He's just lost position to Lighty, all kicking off in the space of 1 lap here.
Absolutely, concentration levels have to be high, especially at Spa, and 2 drivers are out in a space of a lap. But yeah, more on Crazy Legs there. It just looked like he was on the outside, heading in towards the last part of Lake Com at turn 7, and then the back end just decided not to play ball, and he headed straight for the wall. So Crazy Legs out, and also Sean in the Ferrari out as well.
Yeah, such a shame for those two. Sean out, Crazy Legs out. It's disappointing. They do have to take positives from the rest, and I think they were running in quite strong positions as well. You do have to take that as a positive. Recon, by the way, did spin at a Pouon as well. He's into the pits coming in, and Timo has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Lyronic's still to come in. He's going to be out in 3rd and 4th, I think, when he comes into the pits. Lasting those mediums quite long. He could go for soft stint, possibly to the end.
Could do. It all depends when he pits in. Of course, he's been on those medium tyres since the start of the race. As Recon comes back to the pits to put on a new set of soft tyres, he'll have to stop again. Surely he can't make those tyres last to the end of the race. I mean, it was a struggle for the guys to put 9-10 laps into them, so making them go 12 laps is going to be a big ask for him. However, Lyronic's making his way towards the final chicane and towards the final couple of corners. He stays out for another one, so he will lead another lap here in Spa. But Jack is closing that gap. 9.6 is the gap at the moment, and there is Jack in the Mercedes there in second place. Warren 3.7 seconds back. Of course, Jack has at least one 3-second time penalty, but at the moment Jack is staying ahead. Spike then 2.9 behind Warren. He's in fourth place right now. Draw in fifth there. Very consistent in the mid-range points at the moment. He is currently in fifth place, 4.9 seconds behind Spike there. The Gort in Renault there. They lost Warren. But the Gort is trying to step up here and show the team what they've got here. Mays is in 7th place in the Ferrari, looking to try and score his second round of points for the season, and for Ferrari as well. They've already lost Sean in this race. Graham there in 8th place in the Toro Rosso, making his way through the final couple of corners. Charlie 3.8 seconds behind on those hard tyres. He's going to try and make those last to the end of the race. He should find that no problem at all. Lighty in the other McLaren is in 10th place. Both McLarens crashed out of qualifying, so they were a tyre set down to a disadvantage because they lost those tyres they qualified on, but they had to start on the same compound, so that's why they started on those soft tyres there. We've got Recon then in 11th place, currently 23.9 behind the car ahead, just outside of the points, but staying in this race just to see what happens. And then there is Alan Kay in 12th place there, looking to try and stay in this race and see what happens, see if he can nick some late points towards the end. I mean, we've seen two cars retire on the same lap. I wouldn't count that out just yet.
Yeah, of course, changing fortune team in Belgium. Alan Kay could pick up those points. He's in P12 at the minute. He's got Recon ahead of him, possibly going for fastest lap on this one. Fastest lap, by the way, is Dill Warren, 46.3. That was set on his second lap on those mediums. And Lyronix is into the pits. But interestingly, that fastest lap difference between Dill Warren and Jack, 9/10 of a second, but Jack now on the fresher tyres beginning to pull out that gap.
Absolutely. Jack retakes the lead. Here comes Lyronix into the pits, and on go a set of soft tyres. So 10 laps on those soft tyres is what Lyronix is thinking. So he'll be able to rejoin there. He should rejoin in, well, this might actually be 5th place here, depending on where Lyronix rejoins. No, it's 4th place there. So he rejoins behind Spike then, and on those soft tyres he'll be looking to attack. We've seen drivers in the past go for this soft tyre strategy at the end. They have great pace to begin with, but then they fall away towards the end of the race. Let's see what happens for Lyronix this time around.
Yeah, of course, he is beginning to catch Alan Kay off. Yeah, Alan Kay off just at the through the middle of the Lacombe chicane there. Not sure what happened there. I think he did similar to what Crazy Legs might have done, to be honest.
Well, it might have been a mistake, and then he let through Jack there, the race leader, to lap him. Lighty now into the pits.
So he's into the pits, yep, he's coming in from set medium compound of tyres. This should be set soft, yeah, red wall tyre out in the pit lane to set a soft, no front wing change, and he's coming out of the pits. We have got a battle developing though. Charlie right on the back of S Graham, who I think might have had a bit of a moment tonight, because those hard tyres of Charlie begin to gain on S Graham.
Yeah, absolutely. 3/10 is the gap between them right now. The battle for 8th place, and Graham here running a little bit wide into turn 8. That's going to encourage Charlie to try and go for this position as they now head down towards Brussels here and then towards X corner of turn number 9. So Graham holding on for now. And let's see what we can do here. See yellow flags in sector 3, and I believe, yeah, that's Alan Kay just moving to one side. Just creating false drama, those yellow flags. However, Lyronix 1.2 seconds behind Spike. Don't rule him out just yet.
Don't rule him out just yet. Yeah, those softs going to be coming into play very, very soon indeed. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be within DOS, coming down through Rouge and Radion, and then onto the Kemmel straight. And he is within DOS already. Whether he's close enough for a move is another thing to come. We'll just see the run up through a Rouge. Cloud's starting to build. Are we sure it's not going to rain?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. However, let's just quickly run through the biggest winners and biggest losers. Mays and Graham, biggest winners so far, up 6 places to where they qualified. Recon, the biggest loser, down 6 places on where he qualified, as long as we're not counting Navy, who was down 12, but of course he is not finishing this race. He crashed out on lap 1, so it's a bit unfair to say for a non-runner. So our biggest loser at the moment is Recon, who is down in 6th place. Of course, he was caught up in that incident with Navy at the very start of the race. Navy just lost the back end, and Recon was that innocent bystander. That's why he's down in 11th place.
Yeah, it is a shame for Recon. He has got Lighty ahead of him. He's just at the fastest lap as well, so that could be an extra point going his way. He's back into the pits. As soon as I've said that, he's back into the pits. Lyronix, though, all over the back of Spike as they come towards Stavilo at the end of Sector 2. Recon is retired in the pit, sadly, so that is enough for him tonight. But Lyronix, the German, now attacking the Brit of Spike, and I tell you what, he could get this done through Blanchimont into bus stop. He's close enough.
He could do, but he's got that, he'll have to have the slipstream there through 16 and 17, and that 17 of Blanchimont, he's got to cope with that dirty air here. Will he lift off? No, he won't. He absolutely won't then, up towards that final chicane of turns 18 and 19. I think Lyronix is going to play it smart here and wait for the DRS straight of the Kemmel Straight on towards Lake Com. He'll try and put pressure on Spike, maybe try and let him make a mistake out of the source hairpin. Down to turn 1 they go. And Lyronix, you can see he's prioritising his lines, and he is going to prioritise the Kemmel Straight. Then down the hill they go. Downhill helps with the traction. However, the initial part of the corner, you've got to be careful not to accelerate too early. And also wheel spin up those tyres. And Lyronix here, look how close he is to the rear wing of Spike. Then in towards the DRS zone we go with Lyronix in mode 4, overtake mode, then moves to the left-hand side as they make their way now down towards Lake Com. Spike's making a battle out of this, holds the inside line, Lyronix then holds the inside, and Lyronix gets the move done on those fresher soft tyres. He's now up to 3rd place.
What a move, what respect between both of them. Lyronix making that look pretty easy in the end. Spike giving him the room, brilliant driving through Lake Com. Well, definitely the move of the race for me, and possibly one of the moves of the season. Now Lyronix can focus his attentions on Dill Warren. Spike was just beginning to drag along Lyronix into it, so Lyronix now in a bit of clear air, and he can now focus his attention on Warren, who's in 2nd place and just 3 seconds ahead.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Charlie and Graham are still battling for 8th place here. Graham defending the inside line on towards the entrance of Lake Com, but of course if you defend the inside line you can compromise your entry. Graham parking it on the apex there and defending well, positioning that car very well indeed to keep Charlie behind him. And Charlie on those hard tyres, looks like he's keeping those tyres in better nick than Graham's medium tyres, that's for sure.
Yeah, it might be the tyre attempts coming into play for the hards, but I think the mediums will be better favoured at this stage in the race. The Scotsman now just beginning to pull away down to Pouon. Has he got damage though? Because he seems to be going quite off camber of the corner through Pouon there. Charlie gaining about 0.3 of a second, and then again Graham going wide. He must have damage somewhere.
Doesn't look like there's damage, but just because there doesn't look like damage doesn't mean there's not any damage, that's for sure. So there might be something heading onto that car. Warren gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So that cancels out the penalty that Jack got earlier in this race. So they are now racing for position. We're on lap 16 now. We have, I believe, that's 7 laps to go then with Jack in the lead, 4.5 ahead of Warren, with Lyronix in 3rd. Mays is into the pits then to make his first stop of the race.
First and only pit stop, because he's going to be going on a set soft compound of tyres, and he will come out behind Graham and Charlie, who are battling down towards turn 1. Graham again taking the defensive line. Charlie could just nail up these inside here. Could be side by side. Oh, Charlie just losing the back end on exit. But this is going to be interesting coming up to Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, Charlie's going to have the DRS then. They'll make their way through Eau Rouge and up Radion then. Let's see what Charlie's like then down the straight. He's up a high gear there. And the car will have a little bit of trouble accelerating. However, the torque kicks in and the DRS kicks in as well at 11,000 revs just over. Charlie has the outside line and Charlie's left the session. Oh no, I don't believe it. Oh, what are the chances of that now? Charlie just about to make the move for 7th place and then he disconnects entirely. A let off there, I think, for Graham.
I have never seen anything like that happen before. And it is so lucky for Graham, because Charlie had made the move. He'd made the move and he disconnects out the session. What a rotten bit of luck for Graham, honestly.
Well, Charlie, though, can still get back into the session. He can still jump back into his car. Yeah. Of course, if he finishes the race as a ghost car, it classifies as a DNF. So he has to get back into the car sooner rather than later. But of course, if that's sort of an internet problem, then that might be him out of the race. And that's going to be heartbreaking for Charlie. That looked like 7th on the plate for him.
7th was on a plate for him. He made the move stick. However, I think we would have seen the battle continue pretty much until the end of this race. Looking ahead, and Charlie now, nothing coming through in the chat about why he has left, but I have a feeling it's a disconnect, a pure disconnect on his end. In the meantime, Lyronix, just been watching over the course of the last 2 laps or so. He's getting closer. He's not closing at the rate that we would have imagined him to. He's only starting to get within a second and a half of him now.
Well, if you're enjoying the action so far, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Just below, subscribe to TTTV. Lots of action happening over the next couple of days, and hopefully you'll be able to join us for that as well. Make sure you follow TTL F1 on Twitter. It's at TTL_F1, and once you're there, you can also follow me if you're enjoying it so far at KSMCGF1. You can also follow James whilst you're there as well.
Yeah, follow me at B52Head. You'll probably see a lot of random stuff on my account, honestly. Anyways. Mates closing in on Charlie's AI car being a simple overtake. There's no sense of Charlie coming back into the session because I think everyone that's DNF'd, I think one of them might be still in the session. So whoever that is, please invite Charlie in if you've got him on your friends list. Because he can pick up points because Alan Kay is a lap down, I mean.
Yeah, but of course, if Charlie doesn't make it to the finish line as obviously a player car or player controlled car, then that means Alan Kay would move up into the points.
Be beneficial for Alan Kay because I think he's spun quite a few times tonight, not had the great run of things. It's probably a bit of a commentator's curse from my conversation with him last night as well about Germany certainly, but yeah, see how this is going to pan out. And Alan Kay, in fact, is into the pits.
So Alan Kay, I think he's going to go for that. Yeah, he's going to go for that fastest lap point, I think. Because he realises now that with Charlie out of the race, there's a chance he could grab that top 10 spot. And if he grabs that top 10 spot, that means it opens it up for him to grab the fastest lap point. So it's all worth it, I think.
It is all worth it. He has to go and get it, even if he's not going to be scoring point. If Charlie now rejoins and Alan Kay picks up that point, it's going to be quite beneficial for him. By the way, Lyronix, interested 2 points to pick up on. There's the yellow flag in sector 1, which is Alan Kay letting through.
Safety car. Safety car deployed. Well, I wonder what that's about. Okay, so this now adds a little bit of drama to the race. Oh, we didn't have a safety car for Sean Stricken car at Stavilo. We didn't have one for Navy for his car. I can't explain that one. And Recon, who retired from this race in the pit lane, is absolutely furious in the chat.
I have a feeling it could have been Alan Kay letting through. I think it was S14 he was letting through.
Jack in the pits, Warren in the pits, Lyronix into the pits. I think we're going to see a very, very busy pit lane right now. All of them will go onto the soft tyres. And Alan Kay, who wanted to go for that fastest lap of the race, I think that's pretty much out of the window now. But of course, that's going to be a disadvantage for Spike as Jack held in the pits just for a little bit too long there. And Warren gets out and he rejoins. Does he in pit? No, he doesn't. Oh, I thought that was close. Graham drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So Warren rejoining right behind. There's Lyronix in 3rd. Draw then making his way down that long pit lane. So Spike will rejoin in 4th place there. Let's see. The Gort rejoins in. Graham again getting a drive-through penalty under the safety car. That's 2 now he's got. And, well, I don't know what he's doing wrong. He seems to be slowing down enough, but obviously not enough according to the in-game stewards.
Oh, he nearly went off into Stavilo there. Goodness me. It must be something to do with the Delta, I think, with S14. He's not sticking to his Delta and he's got 2 drive-through penalties, which is, I think, might be calmer because of Charlie's disconnect, to be honest. Might be just getting back at him there.
Warren in the chat there. He's having time to drive around and chat. But he's saying that this race might be over for Jack and Warren because they've got those penalties with them. And Graham now getting a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. All to play for now. Let's have a look at those penalties now we've got the time, James.
Let's have a look at the penalties indeed, and I can run you through them now. Jack has got a 3-second time penalty, as has Warren. That's going to be quite interesting. Lyronix hasn't got any, and I've got to be honest, he's the one to favour at the top 3 for the win here. Spike with 2 warnings, T-Raw with a penalty, only a penalty, this is 3 seconds for him. The Gort, same, 3 seconds for him. Maze hasn't even picked up a warning, so GG to him. Charlie has picked up 2 warnings. S. Graham has picked up a 5-second time penalty, plus those drive-throughs. You may as well just give up now, to be honest, and retire, if I've got to be honest. Lighty, 2 penalties, quite a few warnings there for Lighty as well. And Alan Kay, 2 warnings for Alan Kay as well. Now, what's going to happen here? Are they going to wait for Alan Kay to get onto the same lap as them, and we're going to have a 2-lap showdown, possibly?
No. That's not going to happen under those new rules, especially here at Spa. It's such a long lap, they're not going to do it. They won't let Alan Kay through. He will have to join the back of that queue. Of course, lap cars don't get let through. They are stuck behind the safety car wherever they are, and then the blue flags will instantly come out. And of course, you've got a long lap here at Spa, so there might not be many safety car laps. We're going to have at least one more. So lap 20 will be under the safety car. That should give us, as you say, James, a 2-lap showdown.
2-lap showdown. And if you haven't got your popcorn or you haven't got your alcoholic drink at the ready, prepare to spill it all over yourself, and prepare to spill the popcorn all over yourself, because this is going to be one hell of a race. And Jack is pretty much sat by side with the safety car there. Goodness me.
I think he's trying to give the safety car a little bit of a hurry up there.
Yeah. Interesting. I think he's trying to get heat into the tyres as well. He's just backing up the pack at certain points of the track, just warning them, I'm here out in front, you've got to stick to my pace.
Well, Lyronix here is looking for his 3rd race win of the season. What's interesting about Lyronix this season so far,
no.
Round 1 and 2, wins. Round 3 and 4, 2 second places. Round 5 and 6, 2 third places. Oh no, James is gone. He's going to miss out on the 2-lap drama. He's gone completely. I'm on my own for these final 2 laps. Oh no. Oh, this is going to be exciting. Oh, lovely stuff. Yeah, as I was saying, obviously Lyronix, 2 wins, then 2 second places, then 2 third places. If Patton has it, which, you know, life imitates art, we could see 2 fourth places maybe? I don't know. Anyway, looks like James is back. James, are you all right?
Yes, I've got an invite, luckily. I've restarted my game. I'm getting back in. That was just purely my connection now giving up. And I've got everything turned off as well, so that's quite interesting.
Oh, lovely. It's good to have you back though, James, that's for sure.
Thank God.
It's all right, you haven't missed a lot. We're still in the safety car. We're just at Pouhon now, going through turns 10 and 11. And I was just talking about Lyronix's pattern here. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. Well, in theory, 2 fourths are on the horizon, but as you say, he could be the favourite to win this one. He's looking for his 3rd race win of the season. Spike right behind him, looking for his 3rd race win of the season. Of course, winning in Spain and Germany last time out. So all to play for then. There's 2 drivers who could pick up their 3rd win of the season. Jack, though, and Warren, if they want to win this race, if they want to finish high up the order, they've got to be on it from the get-go. Safety car in this lap. The lights go off. Now, the drivers cannot start accelerating. They cannot go up to race pace until the safety car is in the pit lane. And, of course, if you're new to this one, if you're new to the 2019 regulations, there is no more safety car line. The safety car line is the start-finish line. So you cannot overtake until you are past the start-finish line. This one, hold on to your hats. This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be great, and I've just made it in time because I'm back into the session. Thank God.
Well, let's see how this goes. 2-lap showdown with 10 cars out there. 2 of the front runners have those 3-second time penalties. They've got to be on it from the get-go. Jack, who looked pretty comfortable out there, looks like his race win is in serious jeopardy. But when does he go? When does he start accelerating? He's starting to accelerate now, down towards the final chicane. He's gone for it right now through the final couple of corners. And of course, he's got that safety car line, which is now the start-finish line. And we are now back under green flag racing. racing. We're underway here once again, and look at that Spike alongside Lyronics now, down towards turn 1. Spike has got the inside line, surely down in towards the source hairpin. They're side by side now. They kind of have to work together, surely, because they're going to let Jack and Warren get away, but they don't care right now, because Spike has taken third place away from Lyronics. What a move from Spike, down in towards the source hairpin. He's got the move done. There won't be any DRS now for the rest of the race. If you're going to pass, you have to do it without that DRS and slipstream only. Lyronics now trying to go around the outside of the entrance of Lake Com, but Spike defends well, and Spike moves up to third place. Great driving there. Lighty up the inside of Mace. He now moves up to 7th place, and this 2-lap showdown is providing drama aplenty all throughout. Jack then leading the way from Warren. There is Spike in third place. Now, he's got to be careful with those 3-second time penalty. He has to make sure that he doesn't make a single mistake. He's got to keep it in the white lines on that black stuff, and we only have 2 laps to go. 1.5 if you're picky. James, anything I missed?
Not really. You've pretty much covered everything. Spike trying to get in on Dilwarren, not going to be happening. However, Lyronics trying to get through, but Spike under the restart, I may say, he got the judgment perfect, absolutely perfect, and you saw them side by side down into turn 1, pretty much getting the move done there and then, and Spike up to third. Could be the one to watch, but I think Jack, as we've got, Lighty spun around, and that is at Stavolo.
Yeah, Lighty, it's been a crowning of his day right now, spinning out at Stavolo. But meanwhile then, let me take you through the final lap of this race, because this is going to be a dramatic one. Jack then starts the final lap of this race in the lead. He sets the fastest lap of the race in the process, 1:44.954, as we make our way now down towards the source hairpin for the final time then. And who will come out on top here? Jack and Warren have 3-second time penalties. Spike is 1.8 seconds behind Jack right now. He's in a really comfortable position, but he knows he has to be on the pace, because the front 2 runners will be trying to get away as much as possible. Traw, meanwhile, is right on the tail of Lyronics. Of course, no DRS now for the rest of the race. Traw here is going to find it really difficult to try and catch the back of the German ahead of him. 2 Germans battling out on track then as we head towards Lake Com now, and Lyronics here might just be starting to fall away. He hasn't got as much ERS as all the cars around him, so he's got to be careful on that one, and he has to defend from that McLaren, who's looking for the season best 4th place right now. And well, Lyronics here, who we were backing, James, as the favourite to win this one, might have blown his chances, but Jack is building that gap now to Spike. The gap currently stands, correct me if I'm wrong, at 2.6 seconds. It's now up to 2.7 now. So this is going to be really, really close between the 2 of them now. At the moment then, we're going to ride on board with Jack then as he makes his way now around Stavolo. 2.6 seconds is the gap between the 2 cars. Now up to 2.7. It is so close between the 2 of them right now. And Lyronics has found a late charge then. Half a second back, now a little bit more back. But Jack here making his way through this double left-hander. Blanchimont now at turn 17. Can he try and do it? 2.8 the gap now as he makes his way towards the final couple of corners. Jack through the last chicane, through the old bus stop chicane. He'll cross the line first, but will he get the win? Making his way across the line. Jack crosses the line first in Belgium. Warren is second. And Spike takes it. Spike wins by 0.2 of a second. It is a Mercedes 1-2. Jack in second. Lyronics promoted up to third with Warren in fourth. Traw then in 5th place with the Gort crossing the line in 6th. Mays crosses the line in 7th place. Graham gets a 20-second time penalty for an unserved drive-through. Of course, he picks it up in the last 5 laps of the race and wasn't able to serve it. So they've instead decided to award him a 20-second time penalty. So Lighty then, at the moment, 18.3 behind, and he does finish ahead of Graham then. But your winner, his 3rd race win of the season, Spike wins in Belgium.
Absolutely brilliant racing there, right to the death. And it's a Mercedes 1-2, as you say. Spike and Jack taking it, and here's the podium celebrations now. The Spike on top.
And a 3rd race win of the season for Spike. Back-to-back victories, one in Germany and one here in Belgium. And he'll be really, really happy with that one. He cuts down that advantage to Lyronics once again. And wouldn't you know it, they're level on points. How about that? No points between them, but Spike will lead the championship on race wins. So there is your new championship leader, Spike then. taking the lead of the championship after round number 7. But here are your official, unofficial results. Spike winning here in Belgium. Jack in second. He did, I think, pick up the fastest lap of the race, so he does get that extra point. So he actually scores 19 points in this race. Lyronix third, Warren in fourth, Traw there in fifth, with the Gort in sixth, Mays in seventh, with his second point scoring position of the season. Charlie in eighth, Lighty grabbing that ninth place, and Graham rounding out the top 10. Alan Kate a lap down, making it to the checkered flag. We had the retirements of Recon, Sean, Crazy Legs, Navy, all crashing out of this race. Well, Navy, Crazy Legs and Sean did. Recon retired in the pit lane, and then about 2 laps later, the safety car came out and really ruined Recon's day. He, of course, got caught up in that incident with Navy. I believe it's going to be a racing incident, but that was that then. But the results are in, and Spike takes the win by 0.2 of a second. And you have to think Jack's penalty there has come back to bite him right at the death. A Mercedes 1-2, and Spike, the new championship leader.
Yep, Spike taking the championship lead. Fantastic racing till the death, and only a second separating the top 3 as well. Jack being bitten on the bum by his penalty, if I've got to be honest. Yeah, I don't think there needs to be much more to say apart from that.
Well, of course, those results will be amended because, of course, Charlie didn't make it to the finish line. That's why I always called them the official, unofficial results, because they will be adjusted and they will be uploaded later on in the evening. Make sure you're following at TTL_F1 for the full results later on tonight, once all the penalties and everything like that have been sorted. James, I mean, we had a 2-lap showdown. Spike won the day. Of course, this could be your debut, James, on Commentator's Corner.
It could be my debut on Commentator's Corner. I'm excited for it. Yeah, Spike taking the victory. Dominance. Quite lucky as well with Jack's penalty. Lyronix losing the pace right at the end of the race as well. The German. Be very interesting in the top 3 getting the interview here tonight. Hopefully my connection holds up for us.
Hopefully it does. Of course, if you do want to be in Commentator's Corner, if you want to have a chance of being there, just stay in the lobby after the race. It's as simple as that, and an invite will be on your way. But of course, Commentator's Corner is in a different stream, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time TTTV goes live. Next time it goes live will be in about a minute's time when we start up Commentator's Corner. Don't go away.